This is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia. I'd like for you to give me a call on area code 215-222-4209, and I'm calling in reference to the music business. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry I can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Hey, how are you doing? Sorry I can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Once again, it's another rap bandit, feeling that and I can't stand it. Wanna be down with the day glow, knocking on my door saying, hey yo yo. Knocking on my door saying, hey yo yo, I got a funky new tune with a fly banjo. I can't understand what the problem is. I find it hard enough dealing with my own biz. How they get my name and number? Then I stop and think and wonder about a plan. Yo man, I gotta step out town. You wanna call me up? Take my number down. It's 2222222. I got an answer machine that can talk to you. It goes,
hey, how you doing? Sorry I can't get through, but leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Yo, check it. Exit the old style, enters the new. But nothing's new by being hawked by you. Or should I say a flock? Cause around every block there's Harry, Dick, and Tom with a demo in his mouth. Now I'm with helping those who want to help themselves and flaunt a nut that's doggy as a dope. But it's not the move to hear the tales of limousines and pails of money they'll make like a pro. I be like, yo, black disclaimer to tape. Well, actually show the time to spare or just make. But the songs created in they shacks be so wick, whack. Situations like this, I now hate to give me smiles, Kool-Aid wide and ass. And with the straightest face, I be like, hell yeah. Slip them the digits of Papa Prince Paul, so I don't go AWOL, but yet I know when they call, they get.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry you can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Hey, how are you doing? Sorry you can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Check it out. Party after dark on Dixon Ave. Haven't been to a jam in quite a while. Figure out, catch up on the latest styles. That piles and piles of them it takes by the miles. All I wanna do is cut on the back. Crowd run edition of beer by the mile to the sector. Believer of duty, plug one motion, and I be like, yo, G Pasta's all the producer.
Now woe is me to the third degree. Maze pulls are funny, so I make like the bunny jet. But I'm getting used to this demo abuse, getting raped and giving birth to a tape. Cause there's no escape from the clutches of a hawker. Attached to my success, sent like a stalker. Make way to my radius, playing fly guy. Try to get my back, they force like Luke Scott. Me, myself, and I go to this act daily. And rarely do I not. No matter how I dodge, some jackal always nails me. No matter what the plot. And even out on tour, they be like, yo, I gotta take a player back at the hotel. I be like, oh, swell, unveil the numeric code that guides my room. And tell them to call me at noon. But of course, there's no answering machine in my room. But a pretty young adore who I swung on tour. And if it rings my whip alone, she'll answer the phone. And with the rhythm, she recite like a poem.
hey, you done did the right thing, dollar. My ring, now you're waiting on the beat. Say, I would love if you sing a tune the true instead of fronting on the street. So no problemo, just play your demo. And at the end, it's breakout time. Please, oh please don't press rewind, cause I'll just lay it down the line. Hey, how you doing? Sorry I can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry I can't get through. Why don't you leave your name and your number, and we'll get back to you. Peace.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6 minutes past that 8 o'clock hour on Central Time, 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast. And if you're on the West Coast, it's 6 after 6. And it is another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told on this Freedom and Fun Friday. And I don't know about y'all, but he that the sun sets free is free indeed. And I feel like it's about to go down again on this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the team. The 4 horsemen in the building, minus 1 horseman. I don't know why my voice did that all of a sudden. Jax, good morning. How you doing?
Great day. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Beautiful day. How's the weather there?
It is. It's a little cloudy, a little rainy. Brother Fatim, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing this morning, man? I'm Jackson. You know, we had a calm, mellow morning. I finished Reverend Sharpton rundown, and okay. I know me and Joe talked last night about politics, and guess who got us upset the damn apple cart this morning? Sister Jax. No, not with scripture. Oh, she got us sent us a ratchet little note out there. And got my blood pressure going, and I know me and Sean are going to be on the opposite side of this, so you might as well put your boxing gloves on, because this one, normally I'm on their side, but this one, I don't know.
That boy that took the cape off, he took somebody
let's go.
Right in the game. He took the cape off. Baby. Good morning, Sister Shauna. How you doing this morning, my sister?
Good morning. Nobody's scared of you, brother Fatim.
You see, she ain't coming here singing, right? She ain't singing. She ready.
Go sit down. Go sit down and come on in the room.
I'm gonna lay somebody down in a minute.
Oh, just know I'm not gonna willingly lay.
Oh, I put this lashing on, this tongue lashing on you. You won't have no other choice but to flip and lay down.
I could pick you up and lay down.
You may wear a size 12, but I wear a 14.
Oh, shit.
Well, tell a friend to tell a friend.
12 can fit in a 14, sir. 12 can fit in it. Okay, glory. Some of the now you shouldn't about 100.
See, Jax? See what you did this morning?
I don't know.
Share this. Please share this with a friend. Please share this. Click like and share. Please share this with a friend. Click like and share. Good morning, everybody out there. 9 minutes past the hour. We're going to talk about a plethora of things today. One thing, if you didn't see the State of the Union, forget the State of the Union. The question is, did you see the Republican response? Forget the State of the Union. I want to know how many of y'all saw the Republican response. That's all I want to know. We're going to talk about that response. And Fani.
That ain't her fault.
Hold on. Let me get this in good. PhD, strong sister, love you dearly, Fani Willis. Fani. How you let a man put you in a phone?
Wait a minute.
Under GGPP. How? Wait a minute.
How does she know that, Joe?
Stop.
How does she know that? He put her in his phone like that.
Stop, Fatim. Let me get this.
But what that mean?
Hold on. Better yet, my brother, PhD Holden, good suit wearing. You made it look bad for all us bald-headed brothers. Why you put that woman in your phone as GGPP? That's too much information, bro. It stands
what does it mean? Say somebody text me what it means.
Okay, no. I'm gonna tell you what it means without using the graphic word.
Hold
it. Yes. Hold on. I'm not gonna do that. It stands for Gorilla Grip P-word Pal. P-A-L. That is his Gorilla Grip P-word Pal. And yesterday,
I want Shauna to say
in federal courts, the question was asked, excuse me, sir, can you tell us what was displayed when that phone number showed up on his phone? And the guy didn't even want to say it. He said, what was ever wrote in line 30, 32 or 34. And the guy said, can you please read that for the court? Gorilla Grip Keyword cow. Baby. Sisters, sisters, y'all got to have, listen, I ain't, listen. First of all, let me talk to the brothers, because it's really the brothers' fault, but I'm mad at everybody now. Brother, don't ever put somebody in your phone under that name. That's too much information. Why you riding in? Do you need to confirm that to yourself while you driving and the phone rings? Oh, look who called. Not hold it. When we were growing up, what was the gorilla's name on the cartoons? Gorilla Magoo?
Magilla Gorilla.
Magilla Gorilla. Come on, man. Gorilla. See, I know what it was about, and let's just call it what it was. You riding in the car with your boys. Let's call it what it is. You riding in the car with your boys and the phone ring, and that shows up on the screen, and you looking at your boys like, come on, man.
I disagree with that. That's not why.
Thank you, Shauna. He ain't riding in with his boys. He's riding in there with his wife. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute.
No, it's not even that.
You riding there with your wife and that show up on the screen. You really make me wonder what's going on. Okay, what you think, Shauna?
That's a shame that y'all two old people don't know the reason that phone in there under that name, sir. Okay. That phone is there under that name for the feeling that he gets when it rings.
Baby, if I get that feeling, if I get that
feeling,
no
could be.
Hold it. I'm not saying that. Hold on.
And if you was trying to imply something about some women being in the condition and having something to do with that, we ain't got nothing to do with that man's inability to put anything else besides sexual descriptions in his phone.
Correct. So, Shauna, hold on, Shauna. I gotta ask the question. You and Jack. So y'all would put in your phone, if you met a brother, you would put in your phone, for example, what Big Willie swinging or something. I don't know.
Jack, let me answer, Jack. I got a few brothers in my phone, and their name ain't Matthew, Mark, Luke, nor John, homeboy. Let me tell you the ones that I got.
Damn. My sister.
Not wrong.
Do not answer.
Damn.
Does not deserve.
I'm just
absolutely not. Gives good dinners. Great conversation. If your name is in my phone, like Joe Dupree, Brother Fatine, I didn't even have my children's father name in my phone. If your name is in my phone, you are of importance to me. And I got the right to name you whatever I want to in my personal space that helps me remember what you bring to my table. Okay. That's what that woman brought to his table.
Well, we know what Fonny brought to the brother's table, the gorilla grip. And she was his pal.
Yeah, when Joe mentioned this last night, I mean, I don't have a problem. I mean, we put whatever we choose in our phone. Unfortunately, this is public because of this case, but he do whatever he want to do and put whatever name, just like a woman could put any kind of name in her phone. That's their own preference. So I really don't have nothing to really get on this brother for doing that. I just don't. That's his preference. How he looks at a person, that's how people say one thing and they look at people in a different way. Or that gorilla grip, like Sister Shauna said. I got to go with Sister Shauna on this one. I don't really have a problem. Hell with it. Okay. I got a problem with it.
In other news, Jax, you have anything to say? Do you have anything before we move on to other news?
No, you know what? I mean, it is what it is. Go ahead, Fonny, do your thing. But I mean, I haven't been in the dating world in forever. I've been married, for the most part, between my first marriage and my current marriage, like maybe 17, about 17 years. So I haven't had to put any miscellaneous numbers in my phone, under any of the aliases. But I do remember there was a time when I would have some aliases in there sometimes, because sometimes people are a little nosy. But it is what it is. For the most part, I just choose everybody's name. It's no big thing to me. It is what it is.
So in other news, President Biden came out last night and gave everybody the State of the Union. Now, I'm going to say this. President Biden is 81 years old. For an 81-year-old man, he gave a very good State of the Union. It was not perfect by a long spot, but I don't know too many 81 years old folk that can flow and go like that for that long anyway. But I'm really tripping. I don't know who this is calling in. Hold on, family. Y'all hold it down while I figure out who this caller is.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see the State of the Union and what was going on. I was at an event last night, so I kind of missed, everything. So I don't know what's going on. So y'all enjoy this conversation and enlighten me.
Yeah, well, I printed the rundown today that I have for Reverend Sharpton, and I printed one back in February 2nd. I printed the wrong one, so I printed it. But I took myself off the screen. So yeah, last night I didn't watch the State of the Union as well, so I went back and watched it, and I also watched the talk shows, and I watched the comparisons of CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. And of course, it just shows the divide of this country. Joe did start off right. I hate to even put Biden's age, but it's been a question out there, so we have to deal with it. Biden came out and he was very strong, and he was very strong in his message of what his record was, what his predecessor's record was, what his vision was for the future, and what his predecessor's so far vision for the future, which has no vision at all, because he hasn't stated that. He hasn't stated it. I'm not criticizing that. The Marjorie Greene on the Republican side heckled him, and he got out of script and went back at her. But if you look at his record, a lot of people are saying he needs to get that message out more, that information of things that he has done, things that he wants to do. He chastised, you hardly ever see this, he kind of chastised the Supreme Court sitting there in their black robe. He chastised their ass yesterday. And he said, you give me a Democratic Senate and a Democratic Congress, and I'll show you. We'll make Roe v. Wade the law of the land. Mm-hmm. So he has an agenda, and it's a right agenda, moving in the right direction. The jobs report just came out this morning. It's better than expected. Like Joe said, living wage is another thing, but some of the jobs that have seen increase are also seeing increase in their wages now. So like Joe said, the speech may not have been perfect, and things are not perfect here in America and abroad, but they are not in the doom and gloom situation that the Republicans make. Like they say.
Well, that's why I asked the question. Let me jump in here. Did you see the Republican response? They went to Montgomery, Alabama. They went to the Gump, where black folks
they're uncouth, and they have no home training, and they don't like to follow Robert's Rules of Order.
Well, they went to the Gump, and they put. Let me tell you something. If you on the other side, they put, man, it was almost like watching a soap opera, the Republican response. That lady made it seem like any day now, the Black Planet is taking over. The look in her eyes was like, hide your children, lock them up. They're coming to get us.
I absolutely agree with her on get your children, lock them up, because Trump might go and grab them by the.
Her name is Senator Katie Britt. She's considered a rising star, one of the youngest, 42 years old in the Republican Party, and as Joe said, from Alabama. And she put all this doom and gloom, but unfortunately, her performance was met on social media with confusion, mockery.
It was.
Exactly. So she just again. See, this is what I'm saying. The Republicans continue to shoot themselves in the foot. If they were smart, they would say, you know what? This is what we feel we could do better. These are some of the things that we don't agree with, but there are some things that are going right and that are positive. But when you are totally on the opposite side, it shows that you're partisan. And when you're partisan, it shows that you'll do anything, even if the other side is doing something good, you will always speak the opposite. And that's why y'all are always going to be behind the goddamn.
And they always speak the opposite because they keep commenting about Biden's age and then tell us in another breath that age is not, you're not supposed to be discriminated against because of your age. And they act like Trump is some young man. He's 3 years younger than Biden. Get the hell out of y'all, bro. Go ahead on now. If you're racist, just say you're racist. Put it on your shirt, wear it with a bag.
Well, I'm a little bit. I think this is more. I think the powers that be wants us to look at this as a racist thing. I really look at it as more a class thing and a thing of those who have and those that have not. Because if you really start watching the Republican Party lately, there are a lot of people who are black and brown coming into the Republican Party. Trump just endorsed an individual who's running for governor, and I got to recall which state this is in.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. And listen, if you really sit down and listen to that brother's pretty solid on some stuff he's saying. Now, I don't like that Trump compared him to being twice as good as Martin Luther King Jr. But if you watch the conservative movement, now, I mean, there are a lot of African Americans.
Know about Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, you know, probably the same thing.
Two black people before.
Well, I'm just saying, but
And that guy in North Carolina is not that solid.
well,
He may be solid in the Republican world, but that is one piece of work that we're gonna zero in on.
okay, so hold on. Let me, brother Fatim, no offense. And this is no offense to you because I love you.
Oh,
brother.
you know I don't take no offense, brother. We got different opinions.
But we need to talk some real truth here. We need to stop acting like these Republicans are ghosts that don't exist, because they do exist. That's the reason why they have control of the House right now. And watch out, if you ain't careful, they not only gonna have control of the House, they may have control of the presidency. So I do not in any shape, form, or fashion go, oh, they not this, they not that. At the end of the day, all opponents are formidable opponents until they are either defeated, and I can talk about, oh, you lost and I won, or they show me something different. I'm not going to say that, oh, he ain't this. No, because we said that about Trump. When Trump first showed up on the scene, guess what everybody said? Man, if they elect this clown, hold it, Fatim, you were one who said, if they elect this clown, and I was one. If they elect this clown, and the next thing we know, the clown got us looking like a clown because he's the president of the United States of America.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I'm not discarding Republicans. I'm not discarding. See, one thing that I will not do, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought up the late John McCain on the program, and I'm not putting him on a pedestal because, of course, he went against the Martin Luther King holiday, and then he apologized for that. But what I'm saying is that we had a better working relationship between Republicans and Democrats, and where we're at now. So what I'm saying is, all Republicans go. Kissinger, he just stepped away from his role. That was a good Republican. And when January 6th happened, he stood on the right side. But he was a Republican that I agreed with on a lot of issues, and a couple I disagreed with. But here, that's what I'm saying. A reasonable person that deals with the right and wrong and coming to the table and trying to work together, Joe. Don't tell me because Republicans are in office, you got to look at the constituents. You got to look at where the area that and the people that are voting to put these people in office. So because they're in office don't mean they qualify to be in office.
You're right. You're right, Brother Tina. You know what, Joe? It's a class thing, but it is indeed also a race thing.
Damn right.
Because when you really even think about it, if I'm, a Republican, representing that party, although it's still, some minority people in that party, but if they got 20 million and you a black man that got 20 million, guess what? You might still be friends, but you still that nigga with 20 million.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's Elder. And that's absolutely correct. But here's what I wanted to say. The governor of New Jersey, is he Democrat or Republican?
Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, well, very well.
Okay.
Democrat.
Okay, good. So still Chris Christie was the governor of New Jersey.
Republican.
Right. So I'm just saying, just because you're in a certain area of the country doesn't mean all of a sudden the people that's going to be your governor or your elected officials are going to be Democrat, because they have been Republicans, just like, for example, the state of Louisiana until recently. For the last 8 years until recently, in this red area of the South, we had a fully Democratic governor, John Bel Edwards, who was a Democrat and served in Louisiana for 8 years. All I'm saying is never say what it will or may not be or how you may approach it, because even though the South is red, we still, for 8 years prior to the governor we had now, had a Democratic governor. Now, we were the only state in the South that had a Democratic governor. Nobody else had it. North Carolina, I think it was us and maybe North Carolina for a moment. But everybody else, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas, governors are all Republican.
Yeah, but Joe, the point you're making is correct. We had Governor Pataki, Republican. We had Mayor Giuliani, Republican. We had Mayor Bloomberg, Republican, that we've endorsed and voted for. You understand what I'm saying? What we said is that we got out of the personality and got into the message, not the messenger. So sometimes that's what I'm trying to say, that at times we need to get back to that. But when we are polarized, and this country is polarized, it is very polarized because they're rolling back gains that we have made, and the attack on Black history. That's why, Jax, you're 100% right. Joe, I understand about the class and the have and have nots. You're not wrong. But one of the things is that we are not going to eliminate the word racism here, because systemic racism is here. So we're going to put all of that here. But the things that they are doing is the things that we saw in the 50s and the 60s, rolling back, talking about a professor cannot address a class during Black History Month because we are not teaching these things in Florida. This is horrendous. What these two sisters here, even if they may not agree or disagree with abortion, they have the right to choose what they want for their bodies. You understand what I'm saying? We're going back to the back rooms where women were sticking hangers up their vaginal area to give themselves abortions. That's where we're going now?
That's right. And you know what, Fatine? When we dial back, right? When we look back at the 1850s with the Republican Party is known to this day as the Grand Old Party, right? The GOP. So when you think about GOP, Grand Old Party, does that even sound like it includes us? Not at all. It wasn't founded for us. So of course there's going to be racism. I remember I was at this really big political event one morning, actually, it was for a breakfast. And I was sitting across from some powerful lawmakers, one male, one female, and they're minorities. And they were sitting there and I heard them talking about the racism that they are up against. And they were kind of questioning, like, what are we doing? Like, is it really worth it? Because we get so much flack and backlash for whatever we try to do because the racism runs so deep in upper echelons of the government. And that's just, it is what it is. But they still keep pushing. They still keep fighting. But that's what it is. The racism is there and it's never going to go anywhere.
That's real talk. That's real talk. It is 29 minutes past the hour. Miss Dickerson is in the green room and we're going to be bringing her in. So Miss Shauna, please let us know about this great guest that's coming on. And next week, since y'all know I had a horrible cold, we had Blackbird Botanicals. They're going to be on next week. We're going to bringing in Dr. Marcus Ellison next week. And I am reaching out. We may get a phone call in from Dr. Jamal Bryant, because we're going to have a conversation about the Black church and how the Black church is affecting the Black community and society in a whole. But right now, Ms. Shauna, talk to us about this great guest that we're getting ready to bring in.
Well, there's a whole lot that I could say on a personal level. She is family. Number one, she is married to my cousin, DeAndre. So we have a long history of that. But in the professional side, she is the epitome of a great leader. She is formerly, I want to say, a principal and an educator. But my recent interest with her is she is an author of a new book. And since we were highlighting books with Brother Fatine and Women's History Month, I didn't feel it any more befitting than to invite a few of the females and women that have been influential in my area and in my life. So, Mrs. Put some respect on that woman's name. Mrs.
Ms. Dixon, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So tell us about this great book that you got out here and what's it all about. Talk to it. Talk to me now. Talk to me.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. So the book is entitled Beautifully and Wonderfully Made. It is written in children's format, but it has a message that will reach women of all ages. And so it is truly just affirming who they are. I really do believe that if we know who we are, then it's very hard for others to define us. And so it's a quick read. I envision it being read in the morning before you start your day, and in the evening before you lay your head to rest. And so I'm extremely excited about it. And I had a book release last weekend and it went really well. So I'm excited.
I'm was attracted to the book, LaShawna, not just because you're my people and cousin and all that girl, but because with the nonprofit that I do, we speak about affirmations and how important they are. We were just talking to the kids yesterday at Thrive Academy, how we're so accustomed and comfortable in telling ourselves negative things. But when it comes to the positive things that we have to list about ourselves, they become null. They're quiet. They can't give any answers for that. So can you tell us some of the affirmations that you feel are pertinent and that you really focus on, that you find helps?
Absolutely. And let me just say this, a lot of, when I initially started this book, it really is for all women, but specifically women of color, just because of what I've endured in the workplace. And so it's just to remind us that we are beautiful. I know that when I was in the workplace, I wanted to get box braids, right? And I debated whether I should get it or not get it, how it would be perceived. Or my niece who had natural hair and she was in the real estate industry, and she went back and forth about wearing her natural hair. And so I just want women to know that we're beautiful inside and out. It doesn't matter if we wear our hair natural, if we decide to relax our hair, whatever we decide, we are beautiful. Some of the affirmations: we are loved, you are strong, because we do have to endure a lot. And I believe women, Black women specifically, are born with this strength. So we are strong, we are conquerors. I want them to know we're brave. So those are some of the affirmations. We're royalty. I do feel like when we speak that positivity into ourselves, that is how we behave. And so it is this affirmation, it's saying that in meditation, believe, behave, become. And I truly believe that if we believe who we are, we start to behave in a certain manner and we become that. So it's like manifestation, right? So that's kind of some of them. You're loved, you're strong, you're beautiful, you're royalty, you are loved. So yeah, you are forgiven. That's a big one. You are forgiven. That is a big one that I think that a lot of women that I've spoken to recently they're struggling with forgiving themselves. And so that's a big.
Can we see the book, sis? Do you have a copy?
Sure. I don't know why I didn't bring 1 second.
Okay.
And when we in this commercial break, you just come by for teens and get some hot tea. And we give LaShawna a chance to we did a little commercial break. We did a 10-second commercial break.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Beautiful. Slide it down.
Right. Yeah, beautifully, wonderfully made. The sister LaShawna Dickerson, the reason why I had my head down and I saw people freezing and I realized it was my internet. So I had to put myself on Ethernet versus Wi-Fi. You made me think back. First of all, thank you for writing this book and believing in yourself and promoting something that will bring self-esteem to so many women, but so many women in our community. And I go back, I hate to put the age out there, but when I say this, a lot of people may not remember where Black women wanted to wear braids to work. I remember this when I first started in the work world. And a lot of them were scorned upon and told that they couldn't wear braids until Bo Derek, white woman, does the movie 10 and wears braids. And all of a sudden it becomes fashionable So from that point, that made me pissed. That pissed me off. So from that day up till right now, while I have breath in my body, I go out my way to commend women that wear their hair natural, that braid their hair. I commend all women on all styles, but I take the point because a lot of times they do it from a heritage point of view or from a pride point of view. What do you say in 2024 where we see a lot of things that are done by Black folks, Black books, Black education being attacked, and being in a male chauvinist society? This is what it is. It's a male chauvinist society. What message, again, do you say to our Black women how to maneuver during this type of time where Blackness is being under attack?
The message would be always stay true to yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. Stay true to yourself. Lean into those situations. I'm not about, I know I've heard people say, if they don't have the table, build the table, something like that. And I am just kind of one of those people, disrupt. You have to bring more awareness about our culture. We have to bring more awareness about our culture. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that because of the backlash that they may receive. And so I say lean in, shake things up, but most importantly, educate people, increase their awareness about why things are the way they are or why we do some of the things we do. And I believe that a lot of what happens is ignorance. People are acting on ignorance. And I do think that we need to, just stand strong and educate the masses about our culture.
And, I think it's so beautiful that you and Brother Fatin shared that. It reminds me of when I was in my about 18, 19, I wanted to grow locks. And I always thought locks were so beautiful. And my mom was like, are you crazy? You're going to be a professional one day. You can't get a job, with your hair like that. And so I didn't do it at the time, but I always wanted to. So when I got, older and they started having faux locks, I wore faux locks a few times and loved it. And I finally said, you know what? I don't give a damn what anybody says. I work for myself. I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. Yeah. So I started my lock journey just recently. But I'm like, damn it, man, I got to wait until I'm damn near 50 years old with 3 pieces of hair to finally start selling locks. When back in the day, I had thick, full, long hair. Yeah. And it would have been beautiful. But either way, that's the journey that I decided to walk on. And like you said, so many women need to walk on that journey and not be afraid to be themselves, not be afraid to embrace their natural hair because it is beautiful. It goes up to the sun. And we need to just really embrace it and love on ourselves and definitely leave these perms alone because the perms are causing so many health issues. Even a lot of the braiding hair has tons of chemicals that China is shipping in that hair to America. And when we're dipping that hair and those fumes come back up, it's causing other reproductive issues. There's so many other health issues. When God gave us beautiful hair, just what we needed to make us, to adorn us and fit the crown right on our head. So
and that's what it's about, embracing who you are, standing in your truth. Again, I was saying, if you know who you are, the labels that people try to stick on you will not stay because you know who you are. And that is what I have advocated for in my profession while I was working for someone else, that, a lot of times I was deemed too direct or too this or too that. And it's like, this is who I am. And if it's okay for this person of a different race to be direct, then why is it not okay for me? And the other thing is the ignorance when I did decide to do box braids. Oh, your hair is long to that. Like, how did you do that? And I'm like, really? I'm the person to say, now you can't believe that yesterday my hair was short and then today I have braids down my back. Like, you can't actually believe.
And I they thought you did that. So hold on, Lashana, for 1 second. Miss Lashana, can you tell us where we can get the book at? How, if somebody right now is listening and they want to purchase the book, where they can get the book at, how they can follow you? Maybe they want you to come and speak to some class about, you know, natural hair, or just about the book in general, or some ladies group. So how can they get in touch with you, and where can they get the book at?
The book is on my website, which is cultivateddevelopment.com. Can I put it in the chat or something?
Putting it now.
Okay. So it's cultivateddevelopment.com. The book can be purchased there. And I am on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media platforms as Cultivated LLC. Cultivated LLC on Facebook and Cultivated Development on Instagram.
You also can get it on the other Amazon.com, correct?
I don't put it on Amazon because I don't get as much as
Oh, okay. Got it.
But sounds like we need to create some setups where you can, you know, get all whole of it. You know, you don't put that middleman in there. You know, but I'm definitely gonna get a copy of this book, and I would like to even see about getting some for the children at Thrive Academy. There's a lot of identity crisis issues and acceptance of self in that middle school, junior high, high school era. You know, this is the era, you know, and adults get on children about it, your lashes, your lipstick, your hair. But what they're trying to do is find their beauty. And if we would put people in their path that could assist them in finding their beauty and not just adopting someone else's definition of beauty, we would be a whole lot better. So I really want to be able to get that book into, you know, into them children's hands.
And, you know, they say one negative word, it takes over 1,000 positive words just to, you know, remove that negative comment or word that has been spoken to an individual. So,
well, Lashana, you've been knowing me since actually I don't even think you called me by my first name. I'm certain for many years you had no clue that my name was Sean. So you've been knowing me since Buffy. And when I say Buffy, I mean Buffy. Like Lil. So you can put on screen because I know she chuckling. You have seen me go from that woman that did bigger rings, the hair, the revealing. When I say revealing, I mean revealing clothes, wrong choices, into finally accepting the fact that, okay, that this is who you are, but these are also your attributes, you know, and although we did not, you know, technically grow up together, we grew up around each other, you know, so every person in my family that is successful, even the ones that are not so successful, I learned things from you all. You know, I know your husband is watching. My cousin, his mom was my godmother, you know, so we have grown up and we literally watched each other grow from what we was into the women we are, you know, and I'm certain you put part of your journey in that book, because a journey it was. You know, so thank you for taking your positivity and even probably some of your struggles to make it into some help for somebody else. That's what it is. If we don't educate them, we're gonna lose them.
Right.
That's right. There's a little girl that contributed to the women we are. And so it's important that we not only speak to the little girl in us, but those little girls that are following us, looking up to us, you know, being those mentors to them is extremely important.
Absolutely. And that's thank you so much for sharing that about her, Shauna. All praises to you, sis. Also, if you can share with us the process of writing your book. It's a lot of our viewers that have always had a story in their heart that they want to share, but they don't know how to go about it. They would love to write a book, whether it be a children's book or a book for adults or whatever their population is. But if you could just share with us for a moment your journey and your process in writing your book from start to finish.
Sure. So I started, I'm a retired educator. I think Shauna said that. I was about to say Buffy, but she did mention that. And I'm retired. I would travel a lot and I started writing poetry. And if you had asked me then if I was a writer, I would say absolutely not. And I started writing poetry And then I thought I wanted to do something with that poetry, and I wasn't sure what. And I thought, who wants to read a book of poetry? So I did just kind of start, playing around, talk to my husband about it. And he is the one that actually connected me with another homegirl, Shauna, Denise Dixon. She has a publishing company. And so I got with Denise, and then she kind of just guided me through it, Dixon Publishing. And I basically told her what I wanted. It would be, I had then decided it would be a children's book, still not knowing what direction I was going in. And she just guided me through that process and telling me how many pages I needed. And so that was just, it was the hardest part, was deciding what to put in the book, or how I was going to take all this poetry and condense it to something in a book that I felt like would impact people. And it kind of, none of my poetry is actually in this book. I just was led to create this, and I'm very excited about it. But after I committed to Dixon Publishing, they told me how many pages I needed. Did I want soft cover? Did I want hardcover? Who did I want to illustrate it? Which, by the way, my son illustrated it. That was extremely important to me as well.
All right, cousin.
And so I wrote the pages. They gave me a format to put it in. My son created the images, and then I had to submit the image and the page. Like, I had to match the two. Because it's a children's book. And then when I submitted it to them, they formatted it for the size I wanted, the size book I wanted. And then they sent it off. We kind of went back and forth with them placing the images on the pages. And so I had to tell them how big, where the image should be, where the text should be. So it was, she made it a very easy process for me, because all I had to do was write and submit it and tell them what I wanted. And sometimes it was hard for me to say, okay, well, I want the page, I want the words at the top and the picture here. So those little decisions, I felt like I was kind of building a house. It's like, okay, I don't want a closet here, I want it here. It felt like that, but she made it really easy. And once I submitted everything, they told me where to put, leave room for the ISBN code. So it was was not a drooling process. It was really an easy process.
Wonderful.
So,
and what about for those who feel they cannot do it because they can't afford it? What would you say to those viewers?
I think you can always afford it. You don't have to. I chose to go with Dixon Publishing. You can self-publish. Amazon makes it really easy. I know some individuals that have self-published with KDP. I think it's Kindle Publishing. Through Amazon, they've published, and they buy their books. They buy books or a number of books, and they still just sell them, not on Amazon. I think we all have a story, and I think that's the hardest part, is starting, right?
Wow,
because you're being very vulnerable if you're telling part of your story. But I say just start. We all have a story to tell. We all have a story in us, and you never know how your story can help someone else.
And Jackson, and we just had that conversation either yesterday or the day before about that. So great question. Sister LaShawna, as Shauna was speaking about your past and being a former educator, I was thinking about how each generation had people that pushed the limit. But the people that pushed the limit, they had talent. What I mean is, because I was thinking about as a former educator, and you trying to get to the young girls, and we look at young folks out there that have influence now. Sexy Red, Ice Spice. And I'm not here to criticize their talent, but when you push your physical body parts versus talent, and you have a large audience that you're speaking to, we can criticize as adults, but they have a large audience that gravitate to their music and gravitate to their image. What do you say? How do we reach the young people when we're trying to, I hate to use the word counter, but we're trying to send a better message to our young folks out there when we are dealing with this type of imagery out there?
Can y'all hear me? Okay, I think my internet been. I think we have to give people options. We have to give the girls options. We have to show them a plethora of women and what we can do and our talents. I do believe if that's all they see, then that's all they know. If we don't start to show them, it can't be like, well, that's those girls that let their parents be responsible. I think as Black women, we have to show them our talents. We have to put it out there. And a lot of times we don't, right? Because we don't know how to use social media, or we don't know how to do this. But if we put ourselves out there and show them different talents, give them different options, I think that they will then start to gravitate to what works best for them. And I also believe girls are evolving. Right now they may be Ice Spice fans, but maybe, in the next year they may be LaShauna fans. Who knows? But I think we have to display our talents, the depths of our talents to our young girls.
Mm-hmm. And we also have to let them know, because this was a big one for me. If just because your talent is someone else's talent, does not mean that it's not needed and necessary. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the same talent, the missing ingredient of it all is yourself. Mm-hmm. There's been plenty times people have made, complaints and mockery of my tone and delivery. And I tell them all the time, it's because my message was for the children. Right. It reaches the children. And as long as it gets to them, that is my only concern. And I applaud you for stepping out in the front, because I remember when you first got into the administrative range, and we didn't talk all the time, but your husband would talk, to family, and it was difficult for you. Yeah, it was very difficult. My best friend worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield for a long time. I've heard her stories. It was difficult, and it's because of women like you that go against that grain or that usual expectation of sisters is gonna be the reason for the women, young women choose different choices. So I thank you for that.
And we want to give you a round of applause. LaShauna Dickerson in the building. Arthur, once again, put the book up. What's the name of the book again? Show the book.
Beautifully and Wonderfully Made.
Beautifully and Wonderfully Made. You see it in our feed. If you're on Facebook, we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. It's in the feed where you can get the book. I highly recommend you go out there and get that book. Get that book, family. Get that book. So we thank you for coming in. It is 5 minutes to the top of the hour. And we appreciate you, my sister. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, we look forward to seeing you back on the show again when that book hits 1 million sales. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Claim it.
You have a good one, my sister. So family, once again, tell a friend to tell a friend. You are logged into hashtag Truth Be Told. It is 5 minutes to the top of the hour. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building. My brother from another mother, 100 BLK. He chills with me every once in a while, even though he on the other side at 107.5 WBLS and doing his thing with the open lines and keeping it real with Al Sharpton. Speaking about keeping it real, don't nobody keep it realer. Nobody keep it realer for realer. Then Shauna Sias, LPN, better known as the Conduit. And, there's supposed to be an eclipse coming.
It is?
Yeah. I just saw that. It's supposed to be an eclipse coming.
Total eclipse
This is
too.
the first one
Total
ever.
eclipse. Total
Yeah.
eclipse.
Because it's supposed to be, yeah. I mean, like it's supposed to be.
What
some
time
good
that's supposed to happen?
I got to check and see. We're gonna check and see that. We got people jumping into
After
the
8
green
o'clock?
room. So we got Miss
Ooh,
Peoples in the
Brother
green
Fatine,
room.
I got somebody for you today, homie.
Oh Lord. So Miss Peoples, unmute your mic, Miss Peoples.
Oh!
What you mean you can't hear us? Wait a minute. You better get your
Hey,
you better
Brother
get
Fatine.
your you better get
Brother
your
Fatine, if you think I am a powerhouse, sir, I
Miss
am a
Peoples,
meek and humble lamb next to that woman right
you better fix your microphone settings. You better check your computer.
Brother
Check
Fatine, I'm gonna tell you again, if you think
I'm gonna
I'm
let
a
you check
force
your computer.
to
We
be
go.
reckoned with.
You see, Fatim got his arm crossed. Like, let's get rid. Oh, here, hold on, Miss People.
This
get your sound
woman
right. We're gonna
right
bring you
here.
right back. Get it back. Get it back. Go on. We got you.
That
We're
woman
gonna let
right
her work
there.
on it. Right there. That
Make
woman
me
that I
look
just had to. Okay.
like a meek and humble lamb. That woman right there, I traveled all the way down to Shreveport, Louisiana. January 6th last year, they had the insurrection, right?
Right.
That woman that was on that screen.
Was it last year they had the insurrection or a year before last they had the insurrection?
I don't know.
3 years ago they had the insurrection. When was it?
I had
It
a
was
stroke.
more than two. It was 2 years ago. I mean, the president been president 3.5 years, so that's been over 3.
I had
3
3 strokes, so I got a gap of time. But whenever it was, whenever
That's
it was,
your
Brika Peoples.
I had it back in.
I had to go on down to Shreveport to try to get Brika not to go to jail because they was trying to send that woman to jail for bringing too many black people to vote, sir.
Wait a minute. That woman right here, that woman right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Miss People, can you hear us now? Can you hear us? Look at her. She look.
Turn your volume up. Her thing on mute. She muted.
Oh, she muted herself.
There you go.
We can't hear her. We
I
can't hear her, and she can't hear us. She technically challenged. She said, "I'm going out, and I'll be back in." So we'll bring her back. So okay. So hold on. So they tried to arrest this woman for taking people to vote,
sir. You used the word try. I didn't say try.
Oh, they arrested her.
I didn't say try. She went. I had to travel down to Shreveport, Louisiana, because they said that she was inciting a riot because she brought too many black folks to vote. When I say brought them, I mean, baby, they had lines like infect around you.
Oh, Lord.
Brika registered and made sure them folk got to the poll. You talking about foot to pavement grassroots person? Baby, that's grass seeds right there. This is the one I was telling you about with People's Promise, where she teaches young folk about politics and starts to groom them for political office.
So can you hear us now, Miss Peoples?
Yes, I can hear you now. I had to log off and log back on. How y'all doing today?
We doing fine.
All right.
All right. Thanks for having me. And she said, my name is Brika. Look, she gave me a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Shauna.
Oh.
Look, I'm surprised she didn't start singing because I love to hear her sing now.
Come on.
Well, my name is Brika Peoples. I'm a Louisiana state activist. I'm also the organizer. I'm also an organizer for ROLA and also over the People's Promise Youth Division. I have my organization is youth led. I have so many kids. Every race you can think of is in the People's Promise Youth Division. I was just on the phone with my kids this morning at Tulane and some at Harvard. I'm like, look, y'all got to hurry up and graduate because, look, we got to take these seats. Take these seats. But what led me on that journey, because what led me on a journey was no one taught us coming up. I have a 9-year-old that thinks she's running for Congress. She just told Cleo Fields if he win, he gonna
I got that name written on my sheet. Look at there, Cleo Fields. Look at there. I got Cleo Fields on my paper.
So since y'all want to play around, let me give Cleo a call right quick. Let me give
put Cleo on this damn phone. Put Cleo on this damn phone.
Yeah, my daughter told Cleo that she's running for Congress. She told him he was running for Congress, and he was like, "Baby, let me take a picture with you, because so when you run, I'm gonna make sure you be your chief of staff, and she makes sure she be his chief of staff."
So, Ms. Peoples, I got a question for you before we even go deeper into this conversation. It is 1 minute past the top of the hour.
Okay.
How do you feel about the political climate in the state of Louisiana at the present moment where it is at? Talk to me. Now, mind you, before you say what you say, remember, we have 900 plus registered African-American voters in this state, but the last election seemed to be only 200 plus thousand decided to show up and go vote. So I need you to talk to the other 700 plus thousand that decided to sit their ass at home.
Well, how I feel about that? Listen, I went to jail for bringing 150 black men to the polls. So of course I'm gonna feel so.
Why you go there? I need to find out. Wait, hold on. Stop. Let me clearly understand this. Hold on.
You thought I was lying?
No. I just want to clearly understand this. You went to jail in Caddo Parish.
No, in DeSoto Parish. I'm all over the state. DeSoto Parish.
So you went to jail in DeSoto Parish for bringing 150 black folk who were registered to vote to go vote.
Yes.
What crime did they charge you with?
With electioneering.
What?
They charged me with electioneering. In fact, I was the only one pointing out what happened was I was going to vote, and I seen I seen somebody giving the black people $40 to vote for Republicans. I was so upset about it. I got on Facebook.
What?
I need 100 black men in suits to meet me at the polls now. And I told my leaders what was going on. So my leaders, which is Mayor Thomas Jones and Police Jurywoman Jerry Burrell, they have organized them 150 black men. We asked for 100, but 150 showed up to show up to the polls and vote in numbers. So some of them people never spoke to each other in years. You have pastors that walk by each other, wouldn't speak, but they was all gathered to come to the polls. But the reason I got arrested, the reason I was a target, because the day before I had a judge running for, I had a judge in a race, and the registered voter dad stopped her while I was in the car. He said, "Bad stuff can happen to you. You know, we want stuff to happen, like bad stuff." So I got up out the car and I said, "Bad stuff can happen to you too. Have you heard about the Black Panther Party?" I said, we can be at your door too, just like you could be at anybody else's door." So, you know, she was scared. She was like, "Bricka, please don't say anything about it, because I don't want my family getting upset about it, you know, because she have a lot of nephews that would be out there with that." And I said, "Okay." So the next couple of days, the daughter of the dad, that's a retired sheriff, that approached the judge, she approached me and said, "Bricka Peoples, you don't live here, you don't stay here. I want you to move." I'm like, "I do stay here, and I just voted, and we can take people to the polls." They called the state police. I spoke to one of the state police. He's like, "Bricka, the reason we had to do it because of the politics in DeSoto Parish. Politics in DeSoto Parish." But we talking about a parish that I was in.
So hold on, stop. So I want to address a few things, and then I'm going to ask a few questions, and we're going to continue this. We got to go down this rabbit hole. So you got whiff of Republicans who were giving people $40 to go vote Republican. That is a direct violation of voting ethics and voting laws. Okay, I'm first going to ask, whatever happened to that? Was that ever so nobody? So that was just an allegation you made that they say, "Oh, you can't prove it. We really don't know about it. So we just hear what you're saying. It is what it is."
Okay. It wasn't just that. We caught people ballot harvesting, you know, getting ballots from the elders and voting Republican. And it was black people that was getting paid to do it. So we was fighting all those battles. We was fighting a judge that just was giving a black man 75 years for a dime sack of weed. And with the DA that was the DA at the time, he put it as a ticket. So I think with the system in DeSoto Parish, we was whooping their butts. We was whooping their butts. And, I think that was their only leverage to try to get me and shut me down.
Okay. So then where are we at with did they drop the charges? Is the case ongoing?
I just got out probation.
Okay, wait a minute. So are you in litigation? Is your lawyer trying? Because somewhere along this line, it's like you're being targeted. And I mean, that's what it sounds like, but I'm like, wait a minute. So hold it. You talking about you just got off probation. So not only did they arrest you, see, I'm kind of very familiar with how this system works. So not only did they arrest you, they charged you and convicted you of a crime and gave you probation? So wait a minute. Are you on misdemeanor or felony probation?
I was on misdemeanor, but check this out. Shauna was a witness. The DA said, well, Brika, if you stand up and apologize, we make this all go away. I said, I'm not apologizing for nothing.
I'm not.
Wow.
Yep. And it was so bad. My lawyers was compromised. My lawyers was my black lawyers, Jay Florence and Michelle Charles, tried to push me up and say, apologize to this white man for getting my black people out to vote. And I'm like, no, I'm not about to apologize. So I'm like, do you understand what's going on? I said, I just found out we just unwrap a deputy sheriff for raping a white woman in the woods. So it's all about that too.
Okay, Miss People. So let me understand this. I just want to clearly understand this because I don't know the law. Let me give y'all, everybody on here, my disclaimer. Somebody got to please come on here. I need a lawyer to call in. This is times like this. I really need Marcus Allen to phone in or to let me know. So let me understand this. I just want to clearly understand this. If you, as a private citizen, gather registered voters and drive them to the polls, which that's what you did, you can be charged. And what were you charged with again?
Electioneering.
So what is the definition of what is the crime of electioneering? Define what that crime is to me.
They said I was campaigning
because you were picking people up.
Because I was marching I was marching to the polls. I wasn't picking people up that day. I just got on Facebook. I was marching to the polls. Not only was I was marching to the polls with leaders that we fought and put in place. Look, you talking to somebody that put a DA in place, a mayor in place, a state rep in place. We got the first black fire chief. So, they seen all that black power and they didn't like it. They seen us coming together.
Okay. Brother Fatim, I'm confused.
So first of all, there's a lot that to unpack here. So first of all, as Sister Shauna said, to my sister Peoples, is just listening to your story and Sister Shauna talking about you are a powerhouse. But I do, and the reason why I put Cleo Fields' name down, and I had no idea. I put Cedric Richmond name, Deborah Cotton. These are the folks that when Hurricane Katrina happened, these are the folks that I communicated down in New Orleans with for Reverend Sharpton's nationally syndicated radio show. And when we came down to New Orleans twice to deal with the disparities and the horrific situation that folks were going through in the New Orleans area, I noticed that there was a lot of young Black politicians that were on the ground and activists that really brought the noise. And sometimes when you get caught up here in New York, we tend to think that New York and Chicago and some of the big urban cities have the best people. But when you go around the country, you start to see, man, that we got shining bright stars all over the place. And Sister Peoples, I want to thank you for the work. Thank you from my heart, because I know what it is to go out there and protest. People don't realize to go out there and protest and to get arrested and to be charged, how that affects you and how it affects your family and affects your livelihood. So I want to thank you, but there's something about the folks down in New Orleans and in that area that y'all are just right on. Y'all are just right on, and y'all are not backing up. And it takes a lot of tenacity to move forward out there. So just to realize that when Joe was asking these questions, and I know Joe's just getting the information out, I know why they did that to you. They did that to you to stop you. They did that to you to make an example to other folks not to do what you did. They try to tie you up in the system. That's why you have to get good legal representation. People don't realize it takes money to fight for freedom. Freedom is not free. People think freedom is free. Freedom is not free. So we have to have people, we have to have lawyers in our back pockets, because they are going to come at us and throw obstacles out there to try to assassinate our character, to take us down. Before, they used to lynch us, they used to shoot us, they used to kill us. Now what they do is to character assassinate, put you behind jail to try to intimidate you and hurt your reputation out there. So that's why they did it. So I'm not going to try to make sense out of the bullshit that they did to you, because that's what it is. But that's why we have to continue to fight, and we need to be able, and I got to talk to like Joe, Roland Martin, myself, Reverend Sharpton. We got to create a national platform that we can get this information out, because we talked about this. We operate in silos, and that's fine because we're doing what we need to do. But we need to create a network so that we get this information out to people nationally and globally. But nationally, because right now we need the people to be able to know what your situation is and pack that streets, pack that courtroom out there, and show those people that you arrested one, you got to arrest thousands, because we are coming back.
Actually,
Okay,
we did.
so hold on. I'm going to let her respond. I want to put this up here first, though, before she responds. Brother Eddie Barnett put in 1462, acts prohibited during early voting or on election day. So I got to get a clear definition, and I have a Marcus Allen, our great Marcus Allen, street lawyer, knows about this. He's going to be calling in. Here's why. I want you, Sister Peoples, to continue the fight, the good fight. I want us, though, to be informed on how to not only fight the good fight in a good manner, but in a manner that is not illegal. Because I don't want them to try to put you sometimes, and look, and maybe what you did was absolutely not illegal.
It was
like, brother,
it wasn't. That's why I wanted to respond.
But here's the crazy thing about it. I hate that these people have already arrested you. They have taken you to trial. They have convicted you. Now you're on probation. Probation comes with fees. Huh?
I'm off probation. Actually, they was trying to give me six months in jail. My lawyers fumbled. So one of my mentors got me a Jew lawyer, and he was able to get me probation. But you said to pack the courts, we did. Every court that I had, I was not by myself. You see mayors in other city, you see state reps in other city, you see every public officials that's in Northwest Louisiana, they was in the building with me. I never was by myself.
Because DeSoto County, if I'm the DeSoto Parish, I keep on saying county because Louisiana, the only place on the planet that got parishes. So a parish is a county. So DeSoto is right under Caddo, correct? Right? Is it right under Caddo?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So it's the parish before you get into Caddo Parish, correct?
Yes, if you coming from your way.
Okay. So what is the city, the lead city in DeSoto?
It's Mansfield, Louisiana, and that's
Mansfield. Mansfield.
Okay,
I knew that name because a good friend of mine, Todd Sterling. I think his family used to have a school in Mansfield, and I know some of my Mason brothers in Mansfield. I was like, wait a minute, what is the city there? So you were dealing with it in Mansfield. Oh my God!
But with all those I want you to elaborate on the point.
Yes,
that you put all these public officials in the courtroom. What was the response for the officials in your county that brought you into court? What was their response when they saw all those people there?
They was at first they knew they was coming. Let me tell you something. I've been in this fight for 13 years. You can't get in this fight without political power. So my public officials are mayors, state reps, judges, lawyers. So I can't get in this fight without having the political backing. So they already knew they was coming. because they mold me to be who I am today. The judge, me and the judge, what a DA now was the judge before, we was able to get him off the bench because he was railroading black people. So, and one of the judges put a gun in a black man's face, black children's face, and we got him off the bench. So I understand what I was fighting. Anytime you fight the system, they're gonna try to find something and come get you. No, nothing I was doing was illegal. There's nothing wrong with getting to the polls. Last election in November, I always wear an afro. Last election, they had a woman with an afro. I had an old 300. Well, it's not an old, it was a new 300. A 300 pulling up signs. They had on a deer camera. They said it was me. It wasn't me. I didn't have that car no more. So they put me in. I was in my probation office. She's like, Brika, we're gonna have to back your time up because you still doing this. You're still doing that. I'm like, I wasn't even there. Somebody contact my state rep. He made sure I was up out of there real quick. Is they doing all type of 1965 taxes because they know we're not scared. But what I'm doing different now is we got some of they Caucasian children up in the organization. We got some of every race you can think of. And the kids that I have in my organization is the reason that the redistricting section, we got our maps back. That we won our lawsuit. My kids went down there to the Capitol and shut it down.
So, Ms. Peoples, I have a question because I'm really, and I'm pretty sure you're doing this. I'm still completely disturbed and distraught that you are arrested, convicted, and have a record now for something you should have never got even arrested and charged for.
But Joe, how are you confused that
you in Louisiana, right?
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, why are you surprised?
The
system isn't not for us; it's against us.
Hold it.
The governor that we have now, is the one that pushed me to go to jail. So I don't see why it's a surprise when we fight. We on a plantation. I'm fighting all across the state. This is not a surprise. It's not a surprise they got me. I'm one of the biggest activists in the state of Louisiana. So why we gonna lower her down? Because we gonna lower her down. We got too much got too much power.
So Miss People, I hope you are fighting with everything that you have, and I'm glad you're on this platform. I hope that we get the opportunity to get with Reverend Al and have this conversation, because this conversation needs to be had, because you are literally, and if anybody know how it feels to be put in a corner and made an example of, you talking to the man right here. So I get what you're saying. I'm just here completely flabbergasted, not putting it past nobody, because probably this is the crazy thing. You probably done have more folks that look like you done turn their back on you than other folk who don't look like you at times. So sometimes you start sitting there going, wait a minute, I'm fighting for us, but it look like us trying to throw me in the gumbo.
When my lawyer told me to apologize to that white DA, to tell that white DA that I apologize for marching the people to the polls, I knew I can't trust some of my people.
Real quick question, Sister Peoples, real quick. I just want to know, and what Joe's saying, since I do produce for Reverend Sharpton, but my question is, even though Cedric Richmond is from that area, he's in the White House, does he know what's going on in your area?
See, I can't see how he don't know, but I haven't had any contact with Cedric Richmond. Troy Carter, he knows what was going on.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This is Friday, but between next week, Shauna put you in touch with me, and we talk with Cleo Fields. I want to find the best. I'll get to Cedric Richmond, but your message is not my message. It's your message what needs to get there, because this is something that we need to know, because this is going to affect the next election. If there's some BS that's going down, you understand what I'm saying, along with what's taking place, and he comes from this area. So I'll do what I can do to get this to Cedric Richmond, to get this Reverend Sharp, to get this to Attorney Benjamin Crump, and to Roland Martin.
Benjamin Crump knows. I do
Crump
work
knows?
with Benjamin Crump too. Yeah, Benjamin Crump knows. Okay. I talked to Ben a couple of last year when I had to interview for one of his cases about a young girl, some kids getting molested by a politician family member.
Okay.
So he knows. It's out. Fair Fight. They know. They did a declaration about it 2 years ago. So it's out there. It's out there. So I mean, I don't know.
We on it. We on it. And Shauna just sent me your numbers. Thank you, Sister Shauna. But this is what we got to do. We have to network to get this out there. And I'm just so proud of the work that you all are doing down in this area. You just don't know. Is there something in the water down there, the air? Because y'all don't back up, man. Huh?
Now, we have a sheriff race. We got a sheriff race for the third time because our sheriff, he won, but they took the election from him. So now we fighting that issue as we speak.
Why did they take the election away from him?
They said voter fraud. It was a lot of voter fraud was going on. I caught one of the people doing voter fraud. It was a black person. He was putting people names in as the Republicans, changing the elders, 93-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 70-year-old elders, changing them from a Democrat to Republican. So it messed up the election. He won by 1 vote, but the other candidate, he used it to push the election out. So we're doing a new election this week. This weekend is our early voting.
Okay. So family, I've got Marcus Allen. Everybody, anybody, brother Marcus.
Hey, honey buns.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's times like this. I tell people straight up, my disclaimer is simple. I'm here talking about it, but I don't know the legal, and I'm really tripping on this. I think Brother Barnett put it on here. This 1462, the act prohibits during early voting and election. Have you been listening to the show, Brother Marcus, or do we need to get you up to speed?
Let me say you are getting up to speed. I was listening in and out. I have I'm getting myself dressed to actually go to court. I'm in Baton Rouge today, but certainly I'm in and out listening, kind of getting you up to speed.
Okay. So, Sister Peoples, explain to the situation of how you got arrested, convicted, and on probation for bringing people to the polls. Talk to them.
Okay, in 2020, I identified that the Republican Party was paying Black people $40 to vote Republican. After that, I contacted my elders and I got on social media and said I need 150 Black. I said 100 Black men to the polls in suits. Now it was 100 Black men in suits. White men too came. 150 came. The next week I did a march for the women. After that, they called my mom. My mom was a police officer then. She passed now, but she was an officer then. They called my mom and said, your daughter, the state police is looking for your baby, and we need her to turn herself in. And that's how it all came about. That's how it all came about, me getting arrested for electioneering. Actually, they tried to charge me with a felony, said I threatened the registered voter. She said I was going to put her in a body bag. So when they look on my social media, and when they looked on my social media, they identified that I didn't say that. So they had to throw that out. But she lied, and she's also on the early voting task force. This lady, she's on the early voting task force for the state.
So, Brother Marcus, legally, they could did that. What they did to her, they could legally do, right?
I was trying to look it up under the revised statute. She said it was 1462, but I'm not seeing it at 1462.
Somebody else put it in the chat. Somebody put it in the chat. It was 1462.
Yeah, and
they said it was. I was intimidating. I was intimidating by bringing all them Black people to the polls. I was intimidating voters.
Right. And they actually charged her with electioneering. So that's what she got charged and convicted of, that put her on probation. Am I correct, Ms. Peoples?
Yes.
Yeah, and 1462, as Eddie Bonnet put it in the chat, acts prohibit doing early voting or on election day, electioneering, intimidation, exceptions, enforcement, penalties. It's amazing that she was responding to something that was being done at the end of the day illegally, paying voters to go out there and vote one way. But they come at her, who just got motivated people to come out and just vote.
But will not do
Let
Trump
me ask
anything
you.
who invited all the people to climb over the wall.
Not only
Now, you
that,
know that's the double
right after I
standard,
did
Sean.
that,
So hold on.
somebody
What'd
came
you
up.
say, Brother
It was
Marcus?
somebody with a big Trump flag.
I said that's the double standard that's in America. That's that double standard that's in America. We can
That's
never go
right.
by what they won't do to their own based upon what they will do to us. You know,
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know what type of. Why didn't it go to trial? Why would you have to accept a plea? What was the basis of your
Well, the
attorney
plea,
saying
my
they would rather plea?
I'm sorry, you was going in and out. My plea was to apologize.
And she didn't apologize.
And because she didn't
So let's go
apologize,
to.
it was in front of the judge. So the judge said, "I find you guilty of electioneering," because she wouldn't. So I just want to. I'm now correct me if I'm wrong, Miss People. So you were in front of the judge. Your lawyer said just apologize and they'll make this all go away. You said no. So the judge says she's not going to apologize. I find her guilty of electioneering, and she has how much time probation did he give you?
A year. A year, and I had to pay $2,100.
Wow.
But I didn't pay. My elected officials paid. $2,100.
Something sounds different about that. Something sounds different because the procedure generally goes, the state will present a plea offer to you. You either accept that plea as it being a lower punishment to if we go to trial and you receive the punishment according to the statute. So if you rejected, and that's what I'm saying, if you rejected the plea offer, at that point, it's time to set it up for a jury trial or either a judge trial. Let's go to trial. Let's put the evidence on the table. And then after the evidence is submitted, and once the verdict is returned, then you're found guilty or not guilty. I don't think that just because you rejected the plea, that all of a sudden you get sentenced.
No,
Marcus,
Mr. Marcus. I couldn't do no jury trial. It was just a misdemeanor.
No, a judge trial. Period. You were entitled to a trial.
Yes, but when he came, listen,
You see
Mr.
what I'm
Marcus,
saying?
when the DA contacted my lawyer, Shauna was around. When the DA contacted my lawyer, the DA told my lawyer, if Brigham Peoples call the news and do a public apology, I'm going to throw it out. I said no, and it went to trial.
So it did go to trial, Marcus. It did go to trial. She refused the plea, and it did go to trial. You're right. You both are right. Correct. You there, Brother Marcus? Unless Joe took himself out and took Brother Marcus out.
We're here. Brother Marcus is here. So he said,
yes,
he testified on. Go ahead, Brother Marcus. Ask
your behalf. The question was, when the trial started, who testified on your behalf and who testified against you? Who were the witnesses against you?
It was just the register of voters. It was no witnesses. I had all them 100 men that was outside with me. They testified on my behalf that said I was not the aggressor. It was the register of voters. She came in my face. She ran out there and came in my face and had her hands in my face. Remind you, it was a mask mandate. She didn't even have on a mask. And I told her, move back. You don't have no mask on. It's COVID. So we the 100 men that was with me, they testified, and like in DeSoto Parish, it's not gonna go. It ain't gonna go no black way. It's gonna go the right way. The system is set up, and the system is set up for it to go that way in DeSoto Parish. So you have a Republican DA. You got Republican judges that don't like black people, and that reminds you. And we also got a Republican sheriff. The sheriff was just pissed off at me because I unfolded one of his employees raping a white woman, and he turned off the body cam. So he turned off his body cam. We got out on dash cam. So all eyes was against it. All eyes was against it. So it's not. What happened to me in DeSoto Parish was not just about electioneering. You're talking about a lot of stuff that would change. We got diversion programs. You can get in trouble for drugs, and you get a 1-year diversion. You be off your record. We put that in place with the last DA, 14 grams of marijuana. We did that in 2012. You know, instead of when we identified that the judges was railroading the people for a dime check a week, we made 14 grams a ticket. So it's they ain't want that little black girl running DeSoto Parish under Gary Evans.
Okay.
Summed up. It is what it is. I mean, this is the kind of injustices that we continue to fight in your area and across this nation. This is what we fight.
Something else, if you don't mind.
Yes.
We had a white DA in place. His name was Gary Evans. Anything we asked that DA for black people, to help black people, he did it. The system didn't like that white man helping black people. So they did everything they could to take him out of there, to get him out of office. DeSoto Parish was changing. The black people was rising. The whites seen that. They didn't want that. They didn't want that at all.
So, Brother Marcus, I really appreciate you calling in, brother.
Love you, Marcus. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Marcus.
Absolutely.
Thank
hey,
you
listen, Joe, let me say this. Joe,
yes,
can I say this?
Yes, sir.
You know, when I first started practicing law, I talked to an older attorney, and he said, Marcus, get familiar with the appeals process. Get familiar with the Court of Appeals and the higher courts. Black folks have never gotten anything at the local level. So when she starts to talk about what they did in DeSoto Parish, we would still be fighting for relief because, well, let me say this, but it would have went from the Court of Appeals, then it would have went to the Supreme Court, then you take it out of that, then you go to the federal courts. But these local courts, you will get local results because you have a local contingency judging you. We never won anything historically. Brown versus Board of Education, it's at the higher courts. All of the advances that we have had in civil rights were never won at the local level. So I'm sorry that happened to you. And do know, I go into many courts, and the minute they see this dark-skinned, bald-headed black man walk up in there, especially if I got a bow tie on, it's on from day one. And I have to be prepared to make a good record on the first level. And then once I make a good record, then I get ready to take it to the Court of Appeals.
Right.
So if you ever need help, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well, it did go to a Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals was against me. As I stated, I have a relationship with people. Like I have 2 judges on the Court of Appeals that I'm very, very close with. They had to step to a side. So they left me with 2 whites.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Brother Marcus, let me just say this. What you just said is a lesson just now. You just gave a lesson just now, because we always say politics is local. And what you just said is that we don't win on that local level. That's why we take it all the way up. And that's why it's so important who we put in that White House in DC, because if you look at what's happening now, in a sense, that's why President Biden chastised the Supreme Court ass last night. And now you understand the importance of what you do and how it triggers down and affects us all across this nation. Thank you, Brother Marcus, for that damn lesson. Because when we tell people this, they don't understand this because they get caught up in personality politics instead of the real issue that affects us as a people. Thank you, my brother.
I want to throw this out real quick because Marcus probably won't. But Marcus will be coming out with his podcast to give us the legality point of view, so that we can protect ourselves and all that. So sorry, Marcus, I let the cat out of the bag.
Your cat been out of the bag. It's been walking all behind you all on the show today. I was about to mic the damn cat up and see what the cat got to say.
Hey, Brother Marcus, and when you decide to do that, please let us know where we can bring you on and talk about it, because we are big on supporting brothers like you. You and I are very good friends. We do a lot of the similar things, and I want folks to know what you do, when you're doing it, and how to be a part of what you're doing. Because, brother, you are truly the street lawyer. And, man, I got nothing but love and respect for you, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate it. Thank you all, Brother Fatim. Thank you.
You got it, brother.
All right. Sister Jax, thank you. And Sean Aside, my sister.
Love you.
I'll see you all.
All right. Be good, my brother. Thank you for calling in. It's times like that I have to get a real lawyer up in here, because I'm like, man, where are we going? And I don't know all the legal laws. And after hearing everything that you said, Sister Peoples, just to the naked ear, to the naked novice ear, I was like, something wrong here, completely wrong.
Ain't nothing wrong. That's what happened. But I understand when he said appeal court or Supreme Court. But as I stated, I have relationships friends on a appeal court. And then when you go in DeSoto, if you in DeSoto Parish, you're gonna see the people on the Supreme Court shooting ducks with these same people I'm fighting. So
well, at the end of the day, the good old let's call it what it is. The good old boy system is real and it's in full effect. The good old boy system is real,
and that might be true. But we are also building our queen of the parties too.
Right.
Us black women, we are not sitting back or sitting down in the front of the bus no more. I want the driver's seat.
I'm not being a secretary.
The hell no.
And I don't. And Sister Peoples, I don't want to change this conversation, and I won't. But I've said this before. A lot of men want to lead because of their damn gender, but they don't want to put in the work. That's why women are not waiting for your asses. They surpassing you, and they ain't gonna get in order and stand in order if you're not doing the job. If you're doing the job, the sisters don't have no problem walking beside you and letting you lead. But damn it, they ain't gonna let you lead you if they leaderless. And that's the bottom line. Continue doing what you're doing, women.
So let me ask you, Sister Jack.
You already know how I feel about the queen.
Hold on, Sister Shada and Sister People. I see Sister Jackson's back. You know, family, this is where I'm going to step out for a minute and go to the four corners with y'all. But I want to say this. This is why voting is so important. This is why you can't sit there and say my vote don't count. You can't sit there and say I'm not going to get engaged in voting and then see something like this happen to somebody like Miss Peoples. Miss People could be your mama, your daughter, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your friend. Come on, family. We got to stop sitting here now. I'm seeing some of the comments in the Douglas Guidry came out and said the following, and I'll read it. The system ain't broke, it's fixed. He's kind of got an angry face. And like he said, it ain't broke. Hold it. There ain't no need to be broke when you already know who's gonna win before they even start winning. We've got to start doing what we need to do to either A or B. We're going to have to separate and create our own thing, or we're going to have to step up to the bat and start doing what we need to do within the system that has been given to us. But we cannot sit on the sideline and not do shit. And then in the middle of all of this complain, because if out of the 900 and some odd voters who were supposed to vote, if half of us had voted, they would have been paying a little bit more attention to us.
Right. Listen, Rhonda Hairston, right? We must learn their law to circumvent the system. Change is slow. Only keep moving forward, sister. She got Brika Dennis Peoples. And let me just say this real quick. You know, when we was in the 80s, when I say we in the 80s, you got Johnny Cochran on the West Coast at that particular time. This is even before OJ, because he was fighting Black Panther to get Geronimo Pratt, who was a Black Panther, released, which he did get him released. But of course, he got real famous on the OJ trial. In New York, when Reverend Sharpton, attorney Arthur Maddox, and C. Vernon Mason was out there, we had attorneys. We had great attorneys that rocked the damn system. And that's what we also, as we groom politicians, we got to groom attorneys, because we need legal minds that can fight this system and know their system and turn their system around, because there are so many loopholes in there that benefit them. But when we got astute legal minds, lawyers that go in these courts and back them up and embarrass them and prove them wrong. So I'm telling you, this is a fight and a struggle that we are in, and that's why we got to do the work. We ain't got time to be fooling around. When we talking and attacking, when you're not doing, when the young people are hanging out and not doing the right thing, we'll try to get you together. But if you don't want to get together, we're going to move with the people that want to get it together, because our lives are at stake. Our future is at stake. We're working with people that are moving forward, and that's all it is. That's the reality. I don't give a damn what it is. You with us or you against us? And that's how we'll treat you. We'll treat you like the damn enemy, even if you look like us.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell on that one.
You know, I always refer to Harriet Tubman's quote. That pretty much says the same thing you just said. You know, but Sister Jax, you've been out a minute, so I need you to run it.
And you know what? Thank you so much, sis. And that's why, Brother Fatim, literacy is so important. Like you said, we have to groom our kids also to become attorneys, not just thinking about for the political aspect of it, but just to become attorneys. So literacy is so critical. So our beautiful sister was on earlier today talking to us about empowerment and literacy, and we have to make sure that our children can read before they're in the 3rd grade. You know, we put so much stock and stake into making sure our kids have the newest sneakers and the newest clothes, and, you know, they can play ball and all this other stuff. But what about, can you open a book and read it from cover to cover? When was the first time you read a book from cover to cover? What about the parents, instead of always spending the time on the court? If the parents are there, spending some time next to their bed or at the kitchen table or in the living room, reading a book with your babies. And it doesn't start when they're in the 3rd grade. It starts when they are babies. And so once we groom them to learn how to read and develop a love of reading, not just looking at their phones, but an actual book, a tangible book, then they can grow up to aspire potentially to be that attorney. Because obviously we know as attorneys, you have to read, and not just read, but you have to comprehend. So a lot of our kids are not able to comprehend because it's just this quick fix, you know, looking at TikTok, look at this, look at that. You only have 2 seconds and you got to comprehend something, but they need to be able to comprehend on the longer term.
But you know, Sister Jax, even with the social media and the short term, you have to really have a thinking mind to operate social media. If we teach them that what they're doing is not as simple as it is, we are not showing them complex thinking. Absolutely. We're showing them basic read, write, arithmetic. We're not teaching them how to think as complex individuals, which means when they're presented with a certain scenario, if it's not the one you told us with the answer you gave us, we don't know how to operate. We're not teaching them how to critically think at all. That's why people like myself and Brika disturb people. It's because we don't think just on the surface. We have all kinds of thought processes that occur with one situation. Why? Because we know that it's not the same for every single person. Our children know how to play basketball and football before they know how to recite their ABCs. Don't tell me.
Yeah, and you know, they're so used to having their phones in their hand. Do you realize that even in China, the government has restrictions on this cell phone usage for the 18. They can only have 3 hours per week on the phones, on the internet, and all that stuff. 3 hours per week. Imagine
like that same rule right there existed in my mom and them house, except it wasn't cell phones, it was TVs. You could only watch in my mom and them house Monday through Thursday. You could only watch the TV between the hours of 5 and 7. And it was the following things. The news was at 5. Then they had a 5:30 news. Then we watched the Cosby Show and A Different World. And then the 6 o'clock news came on. Shut that TV off. You're going to go do your homework. You're going to read a book. You're going to eat and good night by 8:30.
Let me say this real quick. This here, we got to learn that the same way that we have turned negative words into words of endearment for us, nigga and bitch and stuff like that. They try to turn it. You understand what I'm saying? You take something like this and you turn it into something positive. This is a damn computer. So period. I hear what China's doing. I'm not about restricting. I'm about enhancing and making sure that in a certain amount of time that your phone locks up, that you have to be, when you're on your phone, you have to do something that's creative that you're learning from. We got to learn to take something that we look at as negative and turn it in, because this is a powerhouse. But my question
meet
is,
meet them where they are. 100%.
Exactly. We got to learn that. Sister Brika, I want to ask you this. It's Women's History Month, and we're coming out of Black History Month last month. Oh, we it got a little longer, one day. We're leap year. And, you know, we showcase books. We talk about inspiration. And I would love to hear from you some of your inspirations. You know, I come up, we list a lot of people that maybe not here. I remember when Sister Soldier was on Phil Donahue, and I was with Sister Soldier when President Bill Clinton came at her. She called a press conference, and then we went over to the Apollo Theater because Reverend Jesse Jackson wanted her on his CNN show. And I've known Sister Soldier for quite a long time. and she chastised civil rights leaders on the Donahue show.
I seen that. I seen that.
Put their asses in check.
Ooh,
put their asses in check.
I remember it.
Yeah. So my question is, who has been your inspiration and motivation to do what you do today?
Well, you know what you just said. Who? As a little girl, listen. As a little girl, I used to always watch, and I just put that on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. I had taken my brother in there because he used to buy me books from Sister Soldier. I used to watch Sister Soldier. I used to watch the Fannie Lou Hammer. That's why I got a bullhorn. So, yeah. And also Michelle Obama, the light that we carry, because it's bigger than where we see it is. Where we see it is. I mean, if we didn't have leaders like Sister Soldier and Fannie Lou Hammer, and also Ella Jo Baker, I mean, we wouldn't get this far as women, because you know they always push women. The men push women aside, say, "No, you be the secretary. You gonna do this. I'm gonna get this message out." No, you ain't getting my message out. That's my message. That's my word. You ain't getting my message. I'm gonna do it myself. do it myself. If I'm doing all the hard work. But people like that. But what I learned from Sister Soldier was you cannot protest without policies.
Yes, sir.
So anytime you see BP out there protesting, just know she got a policy putting behind it. It ain't out there screaming and hollering. I'm putting policies behind it. And that's what changed me. That's what changed me. It got to me at an early age. And you said Sister Soldier. I had chills on me.
I didn't know. This is the first time I'm meeting this sister. And we here, sis. We here. But Shauna told us. Shauna told me. Shauna did say it.
I'm feeling that Shirley Chisholm vibe.
Okay, I bring my own chair too.
I feel that Mary.
Oh, that's the new thing. Bring our own chair and bring our own hat now to the party. Bring our own hat.
I'm just saying. I'm feeling these
It's
vibes.
the shoes for me, baby.
It's the shoes. Okay, come on. It's 13 minutes. 13 minutes to the top of the hour.
What I'm doing now, I'm running for DSCC. I'm running for DSCC because they failed us. Our system, Louisiana failed us. It's our leaders failed us. I mean, we would have had progressive leaders if some of them wasn't in a cult. If they wasn't going towards the ones that's in a cult. We got to get the leaders that's already out here with boots on the ground. So with that being said, I'm taking my talent to DSCC and let them know, look, I'm not letting y'all choose for me. I'm about to choose for the people.
Oh, come on through.
Sister Peoples for the peoples. Sister People, we really appreciate you being on. It's 12 minutes to the top of the hour. See there? Somebody must have she done. I started to say she messed up and said something. Them people said, wait a minute, we're gonna put her blackface. Sister Peoples, do you have some closing words? Because we're getting ready to shut it down. But I'm really inspired by you, my sister. Keep fighting the good fight. You're welcome on this show at any time. So do you have some closing words for us? You kind of disappeared again. I don't know, was that you or me?
My phone probably ringing. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what's happening.
That's it.
But I told y'all were not ready.
You know I'm ready. That turns me. This is what turns me on about. This is what turns me on. This is what turns me on. I'm serious. I swear that when I see, let's talk about this fair. When I see a woman standing up for herself and doing the right thing, Sister Jackson, I'll say this. I saw a Muslim sister, so pretty. She was covered. Like you make sure that your temple is covered, right? And she was up there, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah. I can talk Arabic too. And she was talking about some of the tenets of Islam. And just to see the beauty, that makes me fall in order. It makes a man fall in order because you can't come with BS to step to these type of women that are doing the right thing. You understand? When these women are being cultivated, you understand, and multiplied, and the bottom line, we say we want good women. Sometimes we're not even qualified. Not even qualified. That's why I keep saying you want to lead by being a man, but Joe Johnson, you being led by Joe Johnson. How the hell you gonna lead a woman Do you understand? Well, you don't have no leadership characteristics. And I call a spade a spade. And some brothers get on me sometimes and say, brother, why are you doing that to the brother? Because the reality is, the bottom line is, if you can't lead, get the hell out of the way. And if it's the woman's time to lead, let them lead.
Okay.
So 10 minutes to the top of the hour.
That's my closing words, even though I can continue to talk, but those are my closing words for the end of the show.
Let me go.
Okay, come on, Shawty. Give us some closing words, darling. Give us some closing
For
words.
the first time ever in life, not a word, Brother Fatin said, do I disagree with. Not a one. And it is not to take any masculinity from any man. It is not that, because men can do what men can do. But now there are things that women can do. And even if they can't do it, we once again have been put in the position to do it. And women like myself and Sister Jackson, Brika Peoples, and those of us that follow us and come to us for leadership, we will not be made to believe that we shouldn't because of our gender. It's not happening, homie. If you want to lead us, be able to lead me, be able to answer where we're going, the plan. We do not lead with Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder anymore. If you want to be helped, we can help you. I don't have a problem with that. Even if a man has a trouble walking and you're tired a little bit, I can pick you up. Literally sometimes, but at no time will we let you drag us down this year. And I am Shauna Sias, humbly known as the Conduit, and I said, hallelujah, what I said.
That part. Sister Jax, closing words, my sister. This Freedom and Fun Friday, somebody got set free. We want to once again show a lot of love to Miss Brika Peoples and also to Miss LaShonda Dickerson for coming in. Man, this was a power-packed show. Closing words, my sister.
Yes, my closing words for the day, and it was a great show. Everybody did a phenomenal job. Thank you to our guests. My word of the day is purpose. I want us to all walk with purpose. So I have an acronym for y'all. So P, perspective. As you go throughout your weekend and beyond, think about your perspective. What perspective do you have? Try to gain a deeper understanding on what's created that perspective and how you can move forward to possibly look at things differently. You understand that everybody evolves at a different pace. Just because you're on a particular journey doesn't mean everybody around you is going to be on that same journey at that same time. So be respectful. R is for respect. Respect others' position, place in life, and respect your position and place in life. If you want to do better, you can do better. It's up to you to do better and make it happen. P is for passion. Be passionate about whatever it is that you're going to do. Don't half-ass do it, but just do it. No need in trying, because either you do it or you don't. The O, operate with a higher power in mind. Always keep God at the forefront and move in his divine grace and receive his grace and mercy. S, self-reflect and self-examine and seek wisdom. In all we do, we must always continue to seek wisdom, because that's what it's all about. And E is for excellence. As you go through this weekend and through this life, always think about excellence. Keep excellence at the forefront. And God is excellent. He's the Most High. So keep it close to your heart and do the right thing.
Family, it is a Friday. It is the beginning of the weekend. Once again, big ups to the whole panel. To Sister Shauna Sias, better known as the Conduit. To Sister Jax, doing her thing out there in Brick City. To my brother from another mother. Man, you gave a word, Brother Fatim. Like you said, if you ain't gonna do what you gonna do, get on up, move out the way, and let somebody else do it. I can't even top everything that has been said, but only to say this. As you go into this weekend, be better than you were yesterday. Help somebody. Show somebody some love. Sister Peoples, thank you for coming on. Sister Dickerson, I hope I'm saying Dickerson or Dixon. Dixon, Sister Dixon, thank you for coming on. And family, I'm going to end with a little this, because this is how I'm feeling right now, because this is how we got to do it, family. Remember, there is no secret. What God can do, what he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. We got to fight the good fight, y'all. So keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. Just keep on fighting. That's all I can say. Got to keep on fighting. Hold on. Am I right here? Whoa. Wait a minute.
I'm ready, I'm hyped plus I'm amped. Most of my heroes don't appear in no stamp. Stamp or look that you look and find nothing but rednecks for 400 years if you check. Don't worry, D-Hack was a number one jam. Damn, if I said you could slap me right here. Get it? Let's get this party started right. Right on. Come on. What we got to say? Yeah. Power to the people, no delay. Make everybody see. In order to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Y'all. Fight the power. Y'all. Fight the power. Y'all. Fight the power. We got to fight the powers that be. What we got to say? Yeah. Fight the power. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What we got to say? Yeah. Fight the power. Come on. What we got to say? Yeah. Fight the power. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What we got to say? Yeah. Fight the power. Come on.
Yo, check this out, man. Okay, talk to me about the future of Public Enemy.
Future of Public Enemy got a